Welcome, my name is Kat, this is my channel Kat Can Sew, and welcome to episode 39. I'm on Instagram under Kat Can Sew, and I'm going to thank everybody who is continuing to watch my videos for coming back. And if I picked up any new people after the retreat this weekend, or just in general, thank you, and I hope you stick around and find something worth watching in my videos. I am... This is like attempt 8, and hopefully this is the version that it gets done. I keep forgetting what I have already said and what was said in previous attempts. It is the 10th of November, which is a Monday. I went to a retreat over the weekend, so I'm filming a couple of days late. But I wanted to get it done before next week or next fortnight. I'm got a little bit of haul. I've got some retreat wrap up. I've got a bunch of stitching, including some finishes and new starts, and a little bit of Disney, but that's mostly video, mostly talking and not many photos from this weekend. So I'm going to, as per normal, jump into my stitching, as well as at the end of this I will do my October stats. I'm aware the last video did my September stats, but that's what happens when you skip a video. So over the last fortnight-ish, I've worked on 9 projects. I did 4,323 stitches, have 4 new starts, 3 finishes. Honestly, 3 of those were SAFs, start and finishes. I'm going to do my 3 finishes. My new start will come up when I get to it in my list. As per normal, all of the details are in the description of the designer, the fabric dyes. If I'm using a specialty thread, that will also be in the notes. So I'm going to start with my finishes. First up is this little Minion guy from so this is a colored squared like pixel art coloring page where like it's all just a bunch of boxes and a list of colors, and it had like 5 colors in it. I then picked colors out of my DMC to stitch this. I have stitched this before, which I did for the office. This is stitched for one of the people I work with. They saw the one that I'd done and asked if I could stitch them one, which I said sure. This one I did in 2 strands, where the other ones I've done in 4, but I think the 2 strands still look okay. It's like 380 stitches. It took me like a day and a half to do. Like, it didn't take me long at all. Next up was my smalls exchange. This is, so I don't have it physically. This is Fairytale Castle by Sweet Annet on Etsy. The fabric is a 28 count unnamed from Live and Die LA, and here is some photos of it finished, both front and back of the cushion, and a photo of me and the person who received it. This is Jessica. She also has a Flosstube and is linked in the description below. This is 1,605 stitches, plus all the beads, the French knots. The first 3 French knots are real ordinary, but then I kind of got the hang of it and went much better after that. And I think that's all the information on that one. Just also got like some scissors and spoolie and stuff. I'll show similar to what I did, because I still have mine included in there as well. Next up, my last finish is California Magic by Stitch Mitchelle, also on Etsy. And here is this one. This is the DCA version, so the Mickey's Fun Wheel, which is now the Pixar Pal Around. But this is the Mickey's Fun Wheel version. So the world is a carousel of colour, if you can't read it because of the high contrast on those colours. This is stitched on a 32 count Aqua by Live and Die LA. I started this Thursday at the retreat. And then all I got was the outside edge of the Ferris wheel. Because like every one of those stitches is like 20 stitches. Every one of those colours is like 20 stitches. Just the project. I'm trying to get just the project. There we go. And then Friday I got everything but the O in colour. You don't realise how badly I wish I had recharted that to have a U in it. But I had already put in the L and the O and the C and the A when I had that thought. And I wanted it to stay centered. And then I did the O on Saturday morning so I could ring the bell with everybody there, or at least a large chunk of people there. So I said 32 count Aqua from Live and Die LA. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish them, but I am going to finish this one and the Disneyland part of that set, which was the castle with the Here You Leave Today, and Enter the Worlds of Yesterday, Tomorrow, and Fantasy, which is the plaque that is over the walkway to get in the park. So I'm going to do the work out how to do the pair of those together. Alright, so that was 935 stitches where I was able to go, hey, let's do this as a staff at the retreat, and I did. So I'm pretty happy with that. Next up is, let's start on my actual projects. So first up is Advent Trilogy by Mill Hill. This is set 3. I have got 1 to go. So I finished the second last one, which was the Baby in the Manger. I just have the nativity scene to go. This thread is the one that will do the outline of the nativity scene. But here we go. So I will do the nativity scene today while I'm editing, and then after the next video will be the beads, fully finishing them, and then by my 1st December video, hopefully they will be fully done, and I will be able to use them as my advent, maybe not. It may be pulling them out of a bag and putting them onto something this year. I'm not going to have the thing I'm going to use for my advent done and stitched on a 14 count perforated paper that came in the kit and is in a Black Needle Society, a bag that we got through the Black Needle Society. I do not remember who did the art. Things may be a little awkward today. I'm still trying to work out my setup for recording, as my table is exactly the size of my laptop. Next up is Celebrate All Year August by Black Needle Society. This is, I think, National Peach Month. Here is where I was. And here is where I'm up to. I only did like 101 stitches on it this month, this week. It was my lowest number of stitches. My lowest number of stitches is now the Advent, but this is still the one I'm doing for my lowest stitches. I think I mostly did some green, but you will have been able to see because you saw the previous shot, and I haven't touched it for 2 weeks. It did get pulled out of the frame because I needed the frame for the Fairytale Castle. It will go back into the Tiny Nurge and will continue to be worked on somewhat systematically to get that done. Needle Minder is from Black Needle Society, as is the project bag. Next up is Turtle by Mill Hill. Here is where it was. And here is where it's up to. I did 52 stitches and they are all in the light blue under this flipper here. basically that was one length of the DMC. Maybe two. No, just one. I was in the living room after I'd moved everything into my new stitching space, and needed something to work on. Mill Hills are mostly going to get worked on in there because I don't need my lights for it. And this will go back to being my work project once I go back to work. That is in a Black Needle Society case, and it's just on the 14 count Ada, light blue Ada that came in the kit. Next up is my new start. This was my birthday start. This is Mythical Dragon by Janlynn. I want to say I have had this kit upwards of 20 years. Maybe about 20 years, but definitely more than 15. Like, I know I purchased it pre-2010. And I want to say it was probably closer to 2005, if not earlier. But here it is. This is going to be fun to stitch, as every single cross is done 2 strands of the thread over floss, 1 strand of blending filament, which means I can't loop start any of it. And here is where I got to. I can see straight through that. Let's put some card behind it. So I only got about 91 stitches done. They are all up here. I'm a top right starter, so that's where I started. I did change out the fabric from the real crunchy Ada that came with it to a 28 count black Jobelan, which is a Wichelt that I got from 123 Stitch. It has a ton of quarter stitches. It has a ton of back stitch in weird starting spots. There was no way I was doing it on Ada. As it is, I already feel like I'm crazy person doing it on black. It is still in the Q-snap. I am going to try and get to about 200 or 300 about 500 stitches before it goes away, because that's what I'm trying to do for my 2025 projects when they get spun up. So, and I don't think it'll get spun up between now and then. So yeah, but I don't know if you can see the sparkle in that. But I honestly don't know how much that sparkle is going to show up as I'm stitching. When I stitched it, I did all of the stitches and then decided that I wanted to go back and not do 3/4 stitches but just quarter stitches, and I looked at the cover image, and it is quarter stitches. I did have to put this into WinStitch into Pattern Keeper because the pattern is terrible, and I had to keep using my phone to zoom in tight enough to see what stitches it was. So having the Pattern Keeper option makes my life so much happier. Needle Minder is by Black Needle Society, and it's in a Live and Die LA bag. And it came as a kit, so I'm probably going to needle drop that, thread drop that, but it is what it is. Next up is on the next page is Aurora's Castle. This is by Pixel Stitch. Again, I got this from Etsy. Here is where it was. And here is where it is. There's going to be a lot of ahs and ums because I'm trying to make sure I leave the before photos long enough. And here is where we're at. I only did like 113 stitches. I just needed something to work on Friday night after I finished all but that O. So I just worked a little bit more on this section here. Got a bunch of that white done. got this turret done in here. This is also stitched on 32 count Aqua from Live and Die LA. Needle Minder is from Magic Spell Designs. Project bag is Linux Stitches. And this is so much thread, but it was 4 projects. So this is the last one of the 4 that I have left to go. So I'm really happy with that. And then the last project I worked on is Jose by Atomic Tiki Pins. And here is where I was. And here is where I'm at. I got everything inside the hoop done, everything inside the brown. So got Jose's head done, bit of the background. I do need to replace one of the white stitches in his eye with a very dark brown. Because it's next to impossible to see on the pattern, and then I went back and read the instructions when I was like, the eye is making me sad. I actually got all of this dark gold done in Disneyland yesterday, but the rest I did at the retreat on Saturday. This will get a little bit more done. I've still got a length of thread, so I'll finish that thread, fix the eye up, and then that will get put away until it gets spun up again. But that is all of my stitching. Needle minders are from Galore Gallery. Project bag is from the 805 stitcher that was in a Black Needle Society box. So that is all of my stitching that I did this fortnight. Next fortnight may have more stitching because I have technically more days. Next video I think comes out on Black Friday, so the day after Thanksgiving. No, I think we're doing family stuff on this Saturday, so it will be up on the Saturday. Okay, so my October stats, I did 11 projects, 1 start, 2 finishes. I completed 7 of my goals. I did 9,046 stitches and 120 back stitches. So not a ton done last month, but last month was a bit of an ordeal. All in all, not terrible. So on to retreat / haul. I'm going to do the retreat and the retreat haul first, and then a little bit of the other haul that I got. So this weekend I attended When You Wish 2025. This is the Disney retreat hosted by Cross Stitch Society, held in Anaheim. It is held at the Hilton. We had about 70 people signed up, but there were quite a few people who didn't. I want to say there was like 5 or 6 people who just didn't show up. Shan said she didn't even get contacted by any of them. And there's a bunch of people who only showed up on Saturday, so but it was good seeing the people that I saw, that I ran into. I had an amazing group of people on my table. So I sat with Shan, her wife Amanda, Shan's mum Suzanne, Sunita, Sarah, her mum Jan, and Caitlin. And we got along really well. Honestly, we were kind of the last table standing most of the nights. I did leave a little early on Friday. And I was helping pack down on Saturday until I hit the wall, and we called it. So for the retreat, there is other stuff in here as well. We got a little gift bag. We got a retreat mat. There was about 18 different designs. I got the sewing. So Jack and Gus Gus from Cinderella with the female mice with all the sewing bits and pieces. It has a thread bed with a needle minder and a pin holding the needle minder on. It has a tray which snaps on for orts. I didn't use it at the retreat, there just wasn't quite enough room. But it'll probably go with me when I do stitching catch-ups. So I do really want to get back into doing those. So we also got stuff in here, and most of it's haul and gifts. I am missing. Oh, there we go. We also got a needle minder with a couple of needle threaders. The needle minder is by Awesome Pattern Studio. You know what? I probably should open it because I haven't yet. We got a bunch of different princesses. Mine is Little Mermaid's Castle. And it's like a chunky back too, so that should be awesome. And then it has just some advertising in here, which is neat. I saw Rapunzel's Castle, but I don't think I actually saw any of the other ones. But that is really cute. And honestly, having all of those needle threaders is going to do me the world of good. Because I had attended before, I also got the little potion bottle. So if you had attended any, Cross Stitch Society events, we also got a needle minder of a potion bottle that says whip. And I have attended 2 so far. We got some Pez. Mine is Ariel to go with the Ariel. I think I put Ariel as being my favorite princess on the I think I put Ariel as my favorite princess on my drop down, which means Cinderella probably wasn't an option. I'm going to put stuff in here as I go. So we also, I don't know who gave us these, but we got some long stitch needlepoint coasters. So Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy. We got a bag with some, oh, I thought it was floss drops, but it is another needle minder. I lose these like crazy and I break the wires, so having a bunch of these around is probably going to come in handy. A nail file, which could have come in handy yesterday when I was in the park, and some candy. That was from, oh, that was from Suzanne. So that was from Shan's mum, who was sitting with us. I got a little Cinderella charm. I don't know who that was from. That'll go in one of my project bags. If you're ever doing retreats and doing giveaways, put your name on what you're giving. This one has a QR code, which I'm assuming is going to go to somebody's Instagram or YouTube. This is a 3D printed cross-stitched heart. We got this one, I think is Floss Drops. So, Floss Drops with a cable tie. Again, no name on it. Kathleen gave me a mini needle minder because I gave her something. Some people are very much like, I don't do enough for everybody, but if people give me things, I will give them. I tend to give to everybody just because it makes my brain less like, oh, other people got this, but I didn't, I missed out kind of deal. And that's shopping, that's shopping, that's shopping. Oh, we also got sensational fabric from the retreat, which went with the patterns. This is my piece. I got 32 Lugana. Yeah, we got digital patterns. We got 2 from Abby Sue and 1 from Mythical. From Sunita, who is one of my table mates, she gave us these, which was need a minder and a sticker along with all of her details, a week's dye works because Shan is known for calling for weeks, some needles. These are the ones, they're size 24 needles, so they're a little bigger than I usually use, but we will give them a go because I've got a few projects I'm doing size 24s on, and sanitizing hand wipes because they are always handy to have at retreats. And then I have this attached to my phone. This was from Sarah and her mum. They made these really cute scissor fobs or zipper pulls, but they're squishy. And there was a bunch of characters, and I got Rosetta from the Tinkerbell movies. I want to cosplay her so bad. And then I gave everybody Floss Drops with my business card and a little like floss jewelry. The stars glow in the dark. And then for my table I did spoolies that I just glued another one of those glow in the dark stars on. And this is my scissors. I did scissor fobs with a charm. Mine's a D because I got the D for me. But they were like either Mickey and Minnie or princess ones with the date. So they with a 25. And again glowing. That one glows because glowing is my jam. And then while I was doing that, I also made for me another frog up because I'm constantly losing those. So, and then I have a bunch of stickers, but I don't know where they all went. So I always appreciate everything anybody gives me, and anything that is stitching tools gets used or put in to be used. Candy gets eaten, but I do appreciate everything I get. So we are making progress. And then my whole, so also with the retreat, as I said, we got the sensational fabric. That fabric was to go with the Abby Sue patterns, which was the sensational 6. So this is the pattern, And then she did a bonus pattern which included Chip and Dale. And then Needle Lock Designs also did a pattern for us, which was Little Red Riding Hood, which is stunning. I kind of want to do the Sensational 6 as a beaded pattern, but they do need a lot of backstitch, just nature of the cartoon design. I'm not sure how to make that work, but I'm probably going to try. And then haul. So I purchased from Live and Die LA this gorgeous piece of iridescence. It's probably blown out. It is a very pale rainbow. Like there's some purple down the bottom here that you can kind of see. Like it looks really white on camera, like almost grey, but it is like a rainbow, a really light rainbow. I got this to stitch a bunch of Needle Lock Designs on, actually. So my plan is to stitch the Celestial Whales, Celestial Orcas, and whatever the third Celestial that goes on it is, as well as the Divine Beasts. I just think that all of those colours are going to pop on this, while keeping them all cohesive. And then I also got from Soul Extra, I got the Golden Voice by Bella Filipina with all of the beads. And because I keep seeing Kevin from Aqua Whip working on this every month, I got Poltergeist Pirates by Glendon Place. This came with the Sullivans and the Needlework Gallery. I found a fabric, but it was the wrong size. It was a Live and Die LA fabric, and she said next time she dyes it, she'll let me know, and I will get a piece of 32. It should fit on a 32 with just enough clearance that I can use a quarter. Otherwise it is just over a quarter. It is 21 by 17.8. A quarter is 18. So 32 should give me about an inch on each side. I can add fabric for putting it into the Q-snaps. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to doing this. I will start with the moon and work my way across. I'm not going to add the beads, the buttons. I don't like the buttons. But I do like those. Oh, I also, from Live and Die LA, got part of her Haunted Mansion series, which is the Purple Stitcher Haunted Mansion style needle minder. So that is all my retreat haul. Oh, I also, as I said, did the Smalls Exchange, and from the Smalls Exchange I got a little strawberry. So she's just tacked in the back on the hoop. I believe this is a very new stitcher. And then she just did a bunch of little bits and bobs, some needles. This was stitched by Renee West. She does a bunch of crafting stuff. Some floss straps, or some bobbins, hand sanitizer, and a pincushion, and a couple of flossers. So, very appreciative of that. Renee wasn't actually there when we did the Smalls Exchange, so I didn't get a photo with Renee. She had left already. But all of those bits and bobs are awesome, but most appreciate that somebody took the time and the effort to stitch a smalls exchange, because having now done one, I'm aware that it is a thing that will freak you out in your brain. I don't know whether I will do it again because it freaked me out in my brain. So that is, oh no, not all of my haul, sorry, move things out of the way again. And then last bit of haul was my Adam Hart cross stitch mystery box. This came in last week, and this month's colours are on the piece of paper that's all the way at the bottom. Lunar Pearl, which is like a pearl, a pinky pearl colour. Let me see, like a pinky orangey pearl colour. And Cosmic Storm, which is like a blue with like multicolored chips in it. We also got a 2026 magnetic calendar and a cross stitch ornament that does like a sweater. So it is not fully holes, it's just the design on there, but that'll might be a cute thing for me to do at work sometime over the holiday season. So that is all of my haul. At the moment I now have no space on my floor because all of my projects are in the way. But that is where I'm at. I went to Disney yesterday with Shan and Amanda. We also caught up with one of Shan's friends, as well as, you know, a bunch of people for lunch. So we did the photo in front of the castle. These are the people who also attended Disney on the Sunday. And then we kind of went into Disney, did our own thing. We did this photo. We actually knocked out a ton of rides. I rope dropped for the very first time, and I promised Ross I would do it in February. But then after then, probably not again. Also, probably not doing that after a retreat again because I was exhausted. I lasted till like 8 p.m. Like, I was completely done. Didn't even see the parade or the fireworks or nothing. This is a big deal. I like those. But no, we were just all, like, it had been a really long 4 days. We just kind of called it as done. And then I think I got back to the hotel at like 9:30 or something, 9 o'clock, something like that. And then I crashed out early for me and came home today. I don't have a lot of photos from Disney. I literally took, like, there's one photo which isn't super flattering, but here is a photo of me stitching in the park while waiting for the photo. And then that's kind of it. Like, there's a couple of photos on my Instagram because I took some photos with Shan and Amanda. Shan is a fan and Mermaid Claire. But that's kind of it. Yesterday was kind of like, when I'm in the park with other people, I don't tend to do a ton of photos. It tends to be like a few selfies, and that's kind of it. But like, it was, you know, a good day. We did a ton of rides. I said, so that's kind of it. Like I said, like 4 photos from Disneyland. And as I said, some sewing updates. I'm being kind of my brain. I tried working on my Dapper Day outfit a week and a half ago, and the bodice pattern's not working. I am trying to find a pattern that will work for a one-shoulder dress, and it didn't work. It was way too low on the low side and way too far in on the top. I believe it may be an AI pattern, which I was aware of at the time, but it was like $2. I'm like, you know what? If I can use it as a base, And I was trying to modify a single pattern to like use that as my base, and that wasn't working because the sleeve hole becomes too low. But I do have a strapless bodice pattern and a shouldered pattern, and I think what I'm going to do is try and combine the strapless pattern and then the with like a similar bust curve, and like try and combine the two of those and see if that works. To A, make sure everything is covered, and B, you know, actually have a good shape. And then, like, I think they've got the same, like, spacing in the center front. And then just, like, smooth out the line between the two of them. But that's not going to happen for next weekend. So, still planning on going to Dapper Day, just won't be doing it in me-made stuff. But they will still be in the 70th outfits during April's Dapper Day, so my goal is to get it done for then. And then I can work on it like once a month or so, whatever, during my Finish Fridays. I do have a bunch of stuff I want to finish first, and then I will work on that. Life update, as I said, my stitching space is back. I have my new chair. Got rid of the sofa. And then at the moment it is still a mess, so we haven't done any photos in here yet because I'm still trying to work out how to make things work best for me. I think I need to move the chair over a couple of inches. But, you know, I've still got some boxes I need to get rid of, things like that. But we're just, you know, we're working things out. My husband's got some stuff to sort out, and once that's done, that's going to give me a better idea of how much space I have. And from there, everything will find its place, and we can get stuff started. Well, just mostly just worked on. I really want to get some finishes. I really want to get some stuff started. I want to finish some cosplay stuff. But all in all, life's going okay. I went back to the specialist for my foot, who said that it's going. He has reduced my restrictions, so I'm hoping that that is enough that work gets me going back. And then we can, I've got that for another 6 weeks. I did pretty well. The 10,000 steps in 2 hours, not so much. I did that on Wednesday at the park. I was looking for a couple of pins. I think I got the second last of one of them. So I am glad I decided to do that Wednesday and not wait till yesterday. I was planning on grabbing a couple of sweaters, but that didn't happen. I just didn't have the brain for it. So that will happen this week coming, where I'm going back to the park for Dapper Day. And then, and like yesterday was 13 hours in the park. I'm a little sore today, but you know, I'm actually not doing too bad. I'm looking forward to I'm waiting for the gym to open, that'll help, but just moving a little bit more. California has decided to be stupid hot. So I may even get up to the pool, though it's supposed to be cold again by the weekend. So we'll see what happens. So I think on that note, before I just keep rambling for another hour, this has taken me an hour and a half to record, and I think it's going to come in at about 40 minutes. So I hope everybody's having a great week. Find your jam, work on what makes you happy, do all of that. I will see you in a couple of weeks for episode 40. We're getting real close to the end of the year, guys. I'm not going to be doing Flosstube this year. Flossmas this year. I have not got any advents. Actually, I'm sure I've got a sticker advent. I will probably be doing Instagram reels, but I won't be doing Flosstube. But other than that, I don't have any advent this year, so it's not worth it for me, because it's not. It's a lot of editing to do, where if I can just record a video as I open stuff and post it straight away, it's fine. Alright. Hopefully I haven't forgotten anything. To everybody who is new from the retreat, I don't ramble this much normally. I say that, but that's a lie. Ciao.